It's 1993. Sharon Stone is at the height of her power after Basic Instinct. Hollywood throws millions at her next project. What could go wrong? Everything. Welcome to the twisted world of Sliver, a film so controversial, so bizarre, and so riddled with secrets that even its own stars refuse to kiss each other. Today, we're diving into 20 shocking facts that will change how you see this cult erotic thriller forever. Buckle up. This gets weird. Fact 1. The restaurant panties scene almost never happened.
I can't tell.
That infamous restaurant scene where Zeke asks Carly to remove her underwear, it was almost cut entirely. The MPAA initially gave it an NC-17 rating, forcing massive reshoots. But here's the kicker. Sharon Stone fought to keep it in because she believed it showed female empowerment through sexual choice. The scene that shocked audiences was actually Stone's personal statement about women taking control of their sexuality. The restaurant used was a real high-end Manhattan establishment that had no idea what they were filming until Stone actually performed the scene. Staff members were reportedly stunned into silence. Fact 2. William Baldwin refused to kiss Sharon Stone. Behind those steamy love scenes was pure hatred. William Baldwin literally told director Philip Noyce he wouldn't kiss Sharon Stone during their climactic love scene. When Noyce asked how he planned to film a love scene without kissing, Baldwin's response was to physically shove the director into a concrete column. This real-life animosity actually enhanced their on-screen tension. Every heated exchange you see between Carly and Zeke, that's genuine dislike masquerading as sexual chemistry. The blocking of their final intimate scene was entirely designed around Baldwin's refusal to lock lips with his co-star. Fact 3. The producer suggested. Real sex producer Robert Evans made one of Hollywood's most inappropriate suggestions ever. He literally told Sharon Stone she should sleep with William Baldwin before filming to create better on-screen chemistry. Stone's response was swift and brutal. She agreed to do the film on one condition. Evans was banned from coming within 100 yards of the set. This wasn't just professional boundaries, this was Stone drawing a line in the sand against Hollywood's toxic culture. Evans never set foot on the Sliver set, making it one of the first times a major star successfully banished a producer from their own film. Fact 4. The building is real and you can live there. The iconic Sliver building isn't a Hollywood set. It's a real Manhattan high-rise called Morgan Court at 211 Madison Avenue. Built in 1985 with 32 floors, it became a luxury condominium after the film. But here's what's creepy. Residents reported feeling watched after the movie's release. The building's courtyard was used for filming, but the lobby scenes were shot in Los Angeles. Some residents have actually installed their own surveillance systems, inspired by Zeke's voyeuristic setup. Fact 5. 3 different endings were filmed.
Put my apartment on.
There's nobody home there either.
Put it on.
The ending you saw in theaters wasn't the original ending. 3 different conclusions were shot, including one where Zeke and Carly get married on top of the building, then fly a helicopter into a Hawaiian volcano during their honeymoon. In that version, Carly reveals she knows Zeke is the killer, but chooses to die with him rather than expose him. The theatrical ending, where Carly walks away, was a last-minute decision after test audiences rejected the darker alternatives. This explains why Baldwin has that bizarre line about always dreaming of flying into a volcano. It was set up for an ending that never made it to theaters. Fact 6. The technology was ahead of its time. Zeke's high-tech surveillance system wasn't science fiction. It was cutting-edge 1993 technology that most audiences had never seen. The touch screens, hidden cameras, and digital recording equipment were real and functional. The production spent over $2 million on the surveillance technology alone, making it one of the most expensive set pieces of its era. Cybersecurity experts who worked on the film said the setup was entirely plausible and predicted similar technology would become commonplace. They were right. Today, Zeke's surveillance network looks primitive compared to what's available to consumers. Fact 7. Sharon Stone bit Baldwin's tongue. During a kissing scene, Sharon Stone bit William Baldwin's tongue so hard he couldn't speak properly for days. This wasn't an accident. It was Stone's way of getting revenge for Baldwin's unprofessional behavior. The bite was so severe that filming had to be postponed while Baldwin recovered. Stone never apologized, and Baldwin never mentioned it publicly until years later. Their co-star Tom Berenger later said the set tension was so thick you could cut it with a knife, and this incident was the breaking point that made their mutual hatred impossible to hide. Fact 8. The film launched the stalker thriller genre. Sliver accidentally created a new subgenre of erotic thrillers focused on technological voyeurism. Films like The Net, Fear, and dozens of direct-to-video stalker thrillers all borrowed Sliver's formula of combining high-tech surveillance with sexual obsession. The movie's exploration of cameras, computers, and invasion of privacy predicted the digital age's dark side decades before social media made voyeurism mainstream. Film scholars now consider Sliver a prescient warning about surveillance culture that audiences weren't ready to understand in 1993. Fact 9. The unrated version has 12 minutes of extra footage. The home video release included an unrated cut with 12 additional minutes of footage, mostly extended sex scenes and more graphic violence. But the most shocking addition wasn't sexual. It was psychological. Extended scenes of Zeke watching his tenants revealed the true depth of his obsession and manipulation. These scenes were deemed too disturbing for theatrical release because they showed Zeke actively causing psychological harm to his tenants through his voyeurism. The unrated version transforms Sliver from an erotic thriller into a genuine horror film about the violation of privacy. Fact 10. Pearl Jam reference became a running joke.
Hey, thanks.
Right. So see you around.
If you ever need any coffee or anything.
Judy's innocent question about Pearl Jam being some sort of Oriental sex thing became an unintentional comedy classic. The line was improvised by actress Colleen Camp, who genuinely didn't know who Pearl Jam was. The band members saw the film and found the reference hilarious, eventually referencing it in interviews. The joke took on a life of its own when fans started asking the band about their Oriental sex thing status at concerts. Pearl Jam guitarist Mike McCready later said it was one of the strangest compliments the band ever received. Fact 11. The elevator scenes were claustrophobic hell. The building's elevator was so small that filming intimate scenes required removing walls and rebuilding the set multiple times. Sharon Stone developed claustrophobia during production because of the cramped conditions. The elevator scenes between Stone and Baldwin were particularly challenging because their real-life hatred made the small space unbearable. Stone requested that a therapist be present during elevator filming to help manage her anxiety. The final elevator seduction scene took 3 days to film what appears as a 2-minute sequence because Stone needed frequent breaks to avoid panic attacks. Fact 12. Tom Berenger was the original Zeke. Tom Berenger was originally cast as Zeke Hawkins, the voyeuristic building owner, but demanded to switch roles with William Baldwin during pre-production. Berenger felt the Jack Lansford character was more complex and interesting, despite having fewer scenes. This last-minute switch required massive script rewrites and character adjustments. Baldwin was reportedly upset about the change because he wanted the safer role of the mystery writer rather than the controversial voyeur. The role reversal actually improved both performances. Berenger brought gravitas to Jack's paranoia, while Baldwin's natural smugness worked perfectly for Zeke's manipulative personality. Fact 13. The telescope was a character. Carly's telescope wasn't just a prop. It was a $50,000 professional astronomical instrument that actually worked. The production hired a real astronomer to teach Sharon Stone how to use it properly. Stone became so fascinated with astronomy during filming that she bought her own telescope and continued stargazing for years afterward. The telescope scenes were filmed on the actual building's roof during real nighttime shoots, and Stone insisted on learning the constellations visible from that Manhattan location. Fact 14. The bathtub scene caused international incidents. The scene where Zeke watches Carly in her bathtub through hidden cameras was banned in several countries for its voyeuristic content. Religious groups picketed theaters, calling it technological rape. The scene was particularly controversial because it suggested that private moments in one's own home weren't truly private. Stone later revealed that filming the bathtub scene was one of the most uncomfortable experiences of her career because the set was filled with crew members operating multiple cameras to capture the surveillance footage perspective. Fact 15. Martin Landau saved his career with 5 minutes. Martin Landau's small role as Stone's book editor boss was filmed in just 1 day, but it revitalized his career. Landau was in a career slump and took the tiny part just for the paycheck. His brief scenes showed such professionalism and gravitas that directors took notice. Within 2 years, Landau won an Oscar for Ed Wood, crediting his Sliver appearance with reminding Hollywood he was still a formidable actor. His scenes with Stone were improvised, and their natural chemistry made their professional relationship feel authentic. Fact 16. The VHS release broke records.
Carly!
Sliver became the 8th most rented video in America for 1994, despite bombing with critics. The VHS release generated more revenue than the theatrical run, proving audiences wanted to experience the film privately rather than in theaters. Video store owners reported that Sliver was rented primarily by couples, suggesting its erotic content was considered too intimate for public viewing. The success of Sliver on home video changed how studios marketed erotic thrillers, leading to the direct-to-video erotic thriller boom of the mid-90s. Many film historians consider Sliver's VHS success the birth of the watch-at-home erotic entertainment industry. Fact 17. The soundtrack outsold the movie. The Sliver soundtrack, featuring artists like UB40, Enigma, and Lords of Acid, sold over 2 million copies worldwide, far exceeding the film's cultural impact. UB40's cover of Can't Help Falling in Love became a massive hit, reaching #1 in multiple countries. Many people who never saw the film knew the soundtrack intimately. The music was carefully chosen to enhance the film's erotic atmosphere, with each song corresponding to specific scenes. Interestingly, several tracks were longer than their corresponding movie scenes, meaning the soundtrack provided extended versions of the film's most memorable moments. Fact 18. The shower murder scene was Hitchcock homage. The shower murder scene was a deliberate homage to Psycho, but with a technological twist. The killer watches through surveillance cameras rather than peepholes. Director Philip Noyce studied Hitchcock's techniques frame by frame, then updated them for the digital age. The scene took 5 days to film and required building multiple bathroom sets to accommodate different camera angles. The victim, Gus Hale, was played by a real attorney who had never acted before. His genuine nervousness about being naked on camera added authenticity to his performance. The scene's power comes from the violation of privacy. We're watching someone watch someone else die. Fact 19. International censorship created different movies. Different countries saw essentially different films due to varying censorship standards. The Japanese version removed most surveillance footage but kept the sex scenes. The German cut eliminated violence but retained voyeuristic elements. The UK version was the most heavily censored, removing entire subplots about technological invasion of privacy. These international edits created confusion among global audiences who discussed completely different versions of the same film. Some countries' versions were so heavily edited that the plot became incomprehensible, leading to the film developing different reputations worldwide. Fact 20. The film predicted modern surveillance culture.
What's wrong? It's the same as your James Dean book. Only nobody gets hurt.
Sliver's exploration of surveillance technology and privacy invasion was decades ahead of its time. The film's themes about watching and being watched, digital recording of private moments, and the addictive nature of voyeurism directly predicted social media, reality TV, and smartphone culture. Zeke's argument that everyone is naturally voyeuristic, they just lack the technology, proved prophetic in the age of Instagram, TikTok, and constant digital surveillance. Cybersecurity experts now use Sliver in lectures about privacy rights, calling it one of cinema's most accurate predictions about technology's dark side. Bonus fact: the cast never reunited. In 30 years since Sliver's release, the main cast has never appeared together at any event, interview, or reunion. Sharon Stone and William Baldwin have actively avoided each other at Hollywood functions. When asked about the film, Stone diplomatically calls it a learning experience, while Baldwin rarely discusses it at all. Tom Berenger has said he enjoyed making the film, but understands why it's controversial. This permanent estrangement among the leads makes Sliver unique in Hollywood history. A major studio film whose stars refuse to acknowledge each other's existence decades later. Sliver wasn't just a movie, it was a cultural phenomenon that exposed Hollywood's dark side while accidentally predicting our surveillance-obsessed future. From real-life hatred masquerading as passion to technology that seemed like science fiction, but was cutting-edge reality, Sliver revealed uncomfortable truths about voyeurism, privacy, and human nature.
Kate, it was just like before he was already in here.
Love it or hate it, Sliver remains one of the most fascinating train wrecks in cinema history. A film where everything that could go wrong did go wrong, yet somehow created something unforgettable. What's your take on Sliver? Did it predict our modern obsession with watching and being watched? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into cinema's most controversial films, and let me know what movie you want me to dissect next. Remember, in the world of Sliver, someone's always watching.